Well, salutations, Stan the Fan Charles.
Same back at you, Glenn Clark. How are you?
I'm well. How's your Hanukkah been?
It's been eventful.
It's been crazy, 8 crazy nights.
Yep, 8 crazy nights. Yep.
Well, I hope you're having a great week, and I hope that my picks are a little bit better this week than they were last week. Stan, our picks are once again brought to you this week by 1-800-GAMBLER and helpmygamblingproblem.org. If you or a loved one has a gambling problem, then give them a call or a text or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. They are legitimately saving lives this holiday season. It's also brought to you by the Costas Inn.
That's right, with two great locations, the original classic location at 4100 North Point Boulevard and the brand new location up above the grandstand at Timonium Racecourse at the Maryland Fairgrounds. And everybody loves the Costas Inn, Glenn.
No doubt about that.
Whichever location it was.
Stan, you don't happen to have a copy of the new print issue of Press Box lying around, do you? I was going to see if we
don't. I have about 25, 30 bundles in my car.
Of course you do.
Wait a minute, hold on. I do have one.
All right.
Where I did bring one in
the
here.
new print issue of Press Box is available this week at your Baltimore area highest dairy stores. It is our annual best of issue of Press Box, celebrating the top people, performances, and moments of the year. And on the cover, you find our 4 finalists, as you were, for our Mogaba Sports Person of the Year. Trevor Rogers of the Orioles, Derek Queen, the former Maryland star, Navy quarterback Blake Horvath, and the winner of our 2025 Mogaba Sports Person of the Year award, Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton. And a great story in there. Bo Smolka writes about our selection of Kyle Hamilton as Mogaba Sports Person of the Year. We spoke to a lot of folks who know him about how we define Kyle Hamilton's greatness when there isn't one statistic that stands out. So go pick that up. You can read it as well at PressBoxOnline.com. As always, it's free, and it really serves as a yearbook for 2025 in local sports.
Yeah, it's our boy Luke Jackson, Jen Nelson, and yourself do an amazing job putting that whole thing to bed.
Well, we are very proud of the issue and hope that everybody will go get it. Stan, you want to recap last week?
Yeah. Glenn went 1-2 last week.
Yeah.
Glenn had the Raven game spot on, picking the Ravens -2.5 at Cincinnati. The Ravens won, what was it, 24-0, Glenn?
Yep.
And then Glenn lost his lock winner, was the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Playing who were they playing?
The Indianapolis Colts and the 107-year-old Phillip Rivers.
And they just barely beat Phillip Rivers in that football game. And Glenn, his lock loser, was the Washington Commanders, who probably played their best game of the year, other than that game, against Denver about 3 weeks ago.
They lost in overtime, yep.
Yeah. So he finished 1-2 for the week. He's 22-24, and he's got a +3 in the parlay twists. And then myself, I had Cincinnati. That was my one loss of the week. I had Houston besting Arizona by more than 9.5, which they did. And I had Cleveland as my lock loser, and they were playing the Chicago Bears in Chicago, and they lost by more than 7.5. I am 20-25-1. I have one tie, and I am -3. So Glenn has a pretty commanding lead in this contest during the regular season.
I still can't afford to slip up any further. Let's get into it. We begin, Stan, this week with Sunday Night Football right here in Baltimore, the last scheduled home game for the Ravens this season. We will see if they end up back here in the postseason. Got to stay within one game of Pittsburgh going into Week 18 in order to make that game a winner take all for the division. The line is currently somehow, despite a 11-3 record for the New England Patriots, The Ravens are 2.5-point home favorites. So, Stan, I have my phone here on the other side of this. I have the logo of the team that I am picking in this game.
All right. And I'm
All right.
thumbs up for the Ravens and thumbs down if I like New England. All
All
right.
right. Very good.
In
In
3, 2, 1, go. Well,
Oh,
I'm feeling pretty good, but I'll let you explain it because
yeah.
you're a lot better on the Raven games than I am this year.
Well, it's much like last week. It's hilarious because the Ravens obviously stomped the Bengals last week. But as I said, I didn't think the Ravens deserved to be favorites. The fact that they were made me say I've got no choice. It's the exact same thing. This line does not make sense to me. I don't think the Ravens should be favored to beat the Patriots, who I know, blew a 21-point lead against the Bills last week. So when the line is this off to me, I just tend to line up with they are begging you to bet the Patriots. They tend to know what they're doing. So I'm going to take the Ravens. It's not because I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I don't. If this was a pick 'em, I'd be on the Patriots. But the fact that the line is what it is, I think the Patriots are the better football team here. I do not think they should be 2.5-point dogs to this Ravens team. So this is a pure line play for me. The line is screwy. And so I'm riding with the team that Vegas does not want you to take because I think they're trying to prevent you from making money.
Well, listen, this game to me comes down to one thing: is Lamar Jackson going to play the best game he's played all year long, and he may very well do that. I've long time ago given up predicting exactly how he's going to play on given weeks. But the club is what, 2-5 at home this year, Glenn?
3-5, yeah.
3-5 at home. They
Mm-hmm.
haven't been a good home club. I think they get exposed by an improving New England Patriots team, despite the late kind of collapse, which was predictable for me when the Bills were up, what, 21-0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when the Patriots were up 21-0 in Foxborough last week, I thought the Bills had a good chance to come back, and sure enough, they did. I think the Patriots will be on their game, and this will mark a sort of an end, a bitter end to the Ravens' very disappointing 25-26 season.
Of course, if the Steelers were to lose to the Lions, which a lot of people think they will,
Yeah,
then it would not end things.
it would not
Yes.
technically end it, but
Yeah.
I don't see us going. If we lose this game, I don't see us going to Green Bay and
I
beating Green
understand.
Bay. All right,
I understand.
all right. Who's your lock winner of the week?
My lock winner. I tried to get cute last week. I'm going back to just picking good teams who are playing bad teams again because this is the time of the year where you see a lot of these bad teams just kind of pack it in and get ready for the off season. So I will go with the Buffalo Bills as my lock winner this week. And you bring up what they did against New England. The Bills are going to Cleveland. They're 10.5-point favorites. Obviously, the weather doesn't impact the Bills the way that it might impact other teams going to Cleveland late in the season. The Bills are very used to this, and they just look like a team that's on a mission that recognizes with the Chiefs out of the playoffs, and who knows, maybe the Ravens out of the playoffs. Like nothing has ever lined up for them more than it's all lined up for them right now. And while I think they're an imperfect team, I do think they are the team to beat in the AFC. As much as I think last week showed you a little bit about that, what they did against the Patriots. I know we're all in love with the Broncos, but the Broncos never play four quarters. And so it's hard for me to be completely sold on them. I think it's the Bills. I know the number's big, but this is a Browns team that just, it seems like they're trying to sabotage their own quarterback. Apparently, they gave him the wrong wristband last week with the wrong plays on it. Like, I don't know how to make sense of what's going on in Cleveland, so I'm not going to be scared of 10.5. Give me the Bills as my lock winner.
All right, my lock winner is the Philadelphia Eagles. They play in Washington against the Commanders, who lost, who are actually coming off of a win right against the Giants last week.
That's correct.
But I think that the Philadelphia Eagles kind of got themselves recalibrated last week with their big win over, help me, who did they play?
The Raiders at home.
The Raiders. I think they got just what they needed out of that game. And to me, when a team wins the way they did after they played so shakily for several weeks, I don't think they go into the next week's game going, geez, we only beat, it was only because we played Las Vegas. I think it restores some confidence. And I think they will have enough restored confidence to beat the Washington Commanders by better than a touchdown.
I certainly understand that pick. I'm still, it's really weird. I was looking back on the 2023 Eagles collapse that I think everybody remembers well. And for some reason in my mind, I thought they had lost every game down the stretch, which is what a lot of people were afraid they were
Right.
going to do again here. They actually did win a game against the Giants in the middle of losing 5 out of 6 down the stretch that year. So that, like, I don't know why, but that's kind of messing with me. Like, there maybe is still a chance that it's not that everything's fixed as much as they just got the right opponent this
Yep.
week, that last week. But to your point, I think the Commanders might be the right opponent too. No, they won a game last week, but I still
Yep.
think they might very well be the right opponent.
Yeah, I think so. Your lock loser, Glenn.
My lock loser is the team that gave up, I believe, 50 fantasy points to Trevor Lawrence last week. That's the New York Jets, who again are a team I that's going nowhere, that has no reason to be inspired, that doesn't have a young quarterback who's on the rise. Like, they're just a box of misfit toys. And so late in the season, whenever there's a chance for this, and now on the flip side, they're playing the New Orleans Saints. And while that number went up to 5.5 this week, it is hard to not be impressed by what's going on with the New Orleans Saints, who aren't going anywhere this year. Although it's so crazy I say that. The NFC South has gotten just muddied enough again,
Yeah.
um, that, like, I know the Saints. I think the math says they can't. They're 3 games back with 3 games to play. I don't think the math allows them for a chance to get back in, but it is impressive what they are doing since turning Tyler Shuck. It makes you wonder what in the blue hell they were doing not starting Tyler Shuck to begin the season, because they've looked
They've
competent. I
looked
mean,
at a vastly different team.
really
Yeah.
competent with Tyler Shuck as their quarterback. So they'll have to answer those questions. The only bad news is they have to go really deep on their roster. They are so banged up at running back. There's no Alvin Kamara. There's no even Devin Neal. They're going to be playing Audric Estime and Evan Hull at running back this week, but I don't think it matters against the Jets. And so even at 5.5, the Jets will be my lock loser against the Saints.
All right. I'm going along with you on lock losers with New York, but my team is New York Giants. They play at home again. I find very little, despite the encouraging play of Jackson Dart, I find very little to be encouraged by. I know you were down earlier in the year on J.J. McCarthy, but I think he's growing into the position. I think he benefited greatly from not playing last year and watching Sam Darnold. I don't think he was up to the task early in the year, but I think he's played a much more spirited and confident level of play of late. And I think that play will be enough for them to beat the Giants on the road in New York for the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, Stan, you want to give that a recap?
Yeah, quick recap. Ravens, Glenn and I disagree on the Raven game. Glenn is going with the Ravens minus the 2.5 because of the shocking odds that see an 11-3 team an underdog to a 7-7 team with no great injury news that would cause that. I'm sticking with New England, thinking that this has kind of been a disappointing season. Ravens haven't elevated their game at home. I know they're on this desperation mode, and sometimes that can help a team turn around. But I don't see it against a good, improving young New England team. So I took New England plus the 2.5 points. Glenn loves Buffalo minus 10.5 against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. My lock winner is the Philadelphia Eagles minus 7 at Washington. Glenn's lock loser is the New York Jets plus 4.5 at New Orleans. and my it's 5.5. I'm
Five
sorry,
and a half
five and
now.
a
Yeah.
half.
Hmm.
Glenn is taking the Jets to lose by more than 5.5 to New Orleans. That went up a point today. I'm taking the New York Giants plus 2.5 at home against the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, Stanley. Those are our picks. We
All
are.
right.
We'll do some picks next week. The holiday makes things a
It's a
little.
it's a mishmash next week, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And there's games on. There's 3 games Thursday, and then 2 games Saturday. It's just a whole thing. But
It's
we'll
a
find
whole
a time
thing.
to get in there and do some picks
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah. All right. Have a
Um,
great holiday, Glenn.
yep. Appreciate you, Stan.
And I really mean this not just because we work together, but you really ought to be proud of yourself for all the work you do for the Helping Up mission. You and Drew
Well,
Forrester.
it's kind of you to say. We had a wonderful event this week, and what a
How
good
did that
guy.
go out there?
It went great. We drove everything down today. We had hundreds upon hundreds of coats and jackets and clothing items. And so I really want to thank everybody who came out to hang out with Tez Walker at Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square, my friend Steve Pavlovsky over at Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square, who not only hosted the event, but then himself, he drove half of the coats and clothes down in his truck today. Like we looked at the pile on Monday
He
night and
really
said,
goes over and above.
he's an amazing human being, a servant heart, and so I couldn't appreciate that anymore. And thanks to everyone who donated, and it means a lot. It's a special place. They're doing special work, and whatever little thing we can do to try to help those folks up as they try to get back into the working world and get back to a place where they can get some solid footing.
Yeah.
I know the support goes a long way, and even when I was down there today with Steve dropping everything off, even the guys that say, "Hey, I don't know if any of this is for me," but I'm still appreciative of the fact that folks do it. I just
Yeah.
think it means a lot. So,
Yeah.
thank you
Jane
all.
Jane got you some coats, didn't she,
Jane
this year?
Jane has Mrs. Charles has not only herself but has put like
Mrs.
the
Charles, that
word.
makes it sound like she's my mother.
No, stop. She's put the word out to like her entire social
Yeah,
um, uh,
she's
uh,
amazing.
circle, and she has made so many donations over the years, and they've all been greatly, greatly appreciated.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
Stan.
Glenn. And again, thanks to our sponsors, Glenn.
1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, and the Costas Inn.
That's it for this week. We'll talk next week at some level. By the way, Glenn, I've got Mark Fine on,
That's right.
uh, VP of marketing for the Baltimore Orioles, Monday at 5:30. He and I are going to get together.
That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot
All
of fun.
right.
See if they settled on an eighth inning sing along for this year yet. See if we got the answer to that question everybody was worked up about. See you,
All
buddy.
right. All right. Talk to you soon.